Hello. Welcome everyone. I am Sneha Shadu Khan, a student of class 11 from Kendriya Vidyalaya, Tarkeshwar. Now, I want to explain you the poem The Voice of Rain. At first, I want to say that I am indicating the poem as an art integrated project. It's a good thing to make our self study well. So, let's start the topic The Voice of Rain, written by Walt Whitman. Moving on to the introduction of the poem. This poem of Walt Whitman presents a dialogue between the poet and the rain itself. The poem presents the cyclic movement of the rain. The rain is personified to describe herself. She describes herself what she is and what blessing she showers on earth and man. About the author. Here is a short description about the author. Walter Whitman was an American poet, essayist, journalist, and humanist. Walter Whitman was born on 31st May in 1819. He begins job as a printing apprentice in 1831. At 1855, first edition of Leaves of Grass is published. From 1863 to 1864, Whitman helps wounded. Here is the book of Walt Whitman, Leaves of Grass. Some important points of this poem are: point number 1, the first two lines from the question put by the poet to the rainfall, the rest constitute the answer of the rainfall. Second, there is a parallel drawn between rain and music. Both originate from a source, rise up, reach fulfillment, wander about, and finally return to their origin. Third, the present poem is a nature poem that deals with the cyclic movement of rainfall. Now, let's see about the poetic device or the figure of speech in the poem. What is figure of speech? Figure of speech is the ornamental language for intensifying the aesthetic appeal or the impressiveness of the poetic idea. There are many figures of speech. From there, some poetic devices are used in this poem. They are personification, metaphor, simile, hyperbole, and imagery. What do you mean by personification? Personification is a figure of speech in which an inanimate object or an abstract idea endowed with the attributes of a living being. The word used in the poem is the voice of rain. What do you mean by metaphor? Metaphor is the figure of speech in which an implicit comparison is drawn between two dissimilar ideas having a particular point of similarity. For example, here in this poem, I am the poem of the earth is an example of metaphor. What do you mean by simile? Simile is a figure of speech which consists in an explicit comparison between the two dissimilar ideas. Here in the last two lines, the poet has drawn a parallel between the rain and the song of the poet. What do you mean by hyperbole? Hyperbole is a figure of speech in which some ideas are exaggerated. Here, bottomless sea is an example of hyperbole. The poet describes sea as bottomless, which is an exaggerated statement to bring out the desired effect. What do you mean by imagery? It's the figure of speech, an image of nature or something is created in the mind of reader. Here in this poem, soft falling shower is an example of imagery. At the time of conversation between the rain It creates an image of shower of water falling down from the heaven to the earth. Now we come to the poem The Voice of the Rain, written by Walt Whitman. And who art thou? Said I to the soft falling shower, which, strange to tell, gave me an answer, as here translated. I am the poem of earth, said the voice of the rain. Eternal I rise, impalpable, out of the land and the bottomless sea. Upward to heaven, whence vaguely formed, altogether changed, and yet the same. I descend to lave the droughts, atomies, dust layers of the globe, and all that in them without me were seeds only, latent, unborn. And forever, by the day and night, I give back life to my own origin, and make pure and beautify it. For song, issuing from its birthplace after fulfillment, wandering, regged or unregged, duly with love returns. Moving on to the theme of the poem. In this poem, the poet asks the soft falling shower, "Who are you?" To which she replies that she is the poem of earth. It is a strange thing for the rain to reply to the poet. The rain told the poet that she cannot be touched as she rises in the form of water vapor in the sky from the land and the bottomless sea. It changes its shape, yet it remains the same. The vapor changes into clouds due to condensation. It falls back on the surface of the earth to provide water to the drought-prone areas and to beautify and purify the earth, its birthplace. It provides life to the seeds inside the earth and helps them grow. The rain does not care if anyone bothers about her deeds or not. She completes her work and comes back home. The poet also compares the rain with a song as they both share a common journey. The song originates from the heart of the singer, travels across to fulfill the aim, and comes back with due loan from the singer. Its origination. Thank you. Now let's see the dance video related with this poem, The Voice of Rain, performed by Sneha Shadukhan.